This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what's going on? What do you have for us today?
Okay, well, this is kind of like a breaking case of podcast selection here. So while we are going to talk about No One Left to Fight 2 at some point, today we're talking about something I've been looking forward to read for a while, and something that's also been sitting on my to review pile for a couple months now. This is Decorum by Jonathan Hickman and Mike Huddleston. Now, longtime readers and listeners know that I really love Jonathan Hickman. It's like he's done like some great creator owned work over at Image with titles like Nightly News, Pax Romana, Transhuman, like these miniseries that basically helped establish his name and got him noticed by Marvel, who basically put him to work on various series, like most notably, it's like Secret Warriors and Fantastic Four, which led to a very well regarded and influential run on Avengers that offered up a lot of concepts that influenced it's like the Infinity War and Endgame movies as well. So, and like while he was all set to go back to create own work after that, because he's also working on what was it? East of West. It's like at the time, it's like that series. It's like it was. I mean, it was entertaining, but it was also just felt like it was a lot of like really entertaining like surface level stuff. I mean, it had like lot some interesting concepts about like what happens when the fourth horseman of the apocalypse falls in love and death specifically. It's like, and what does he have to do in order to make sure somebody stays safe from his former coworkers? There was also, I mean, it was a lot. It felt like a really well executed biz style over substance. And after that, well, it's like you want it migrating back to Marvel to give us the Krakoan era of X-Men. It's like a setup that was so successful. Um, People wanted to keep it going, even though Hickman had basically already apparently made other plans for it, and was forced to like hastily wrap those up in the meantime with Inferno. So that's where we're right now. But Hickman has also found time while he was working as the head of X to do another creator-owned series with artist Mike Huddleston. This would be Decorum. And it's like, and you kind of figure like the guy who was like basically been kind of going from strength to strength with a lot of his writing work. This is something that I'd be like very much like interested in. And also with his teaming with Huddleston, who's also like a very talented artist whose work I've seen before on titles like Deep Sleeper, The Coffin, it's like in the Homeland Directive. And also Butcher Baker, the Righteous Maker, which was also interesting too, but apparently that led to like a big falling out between him and writer Joe Casey in the process. That being now that being said, seeing the two of them team up for this series, like I was all for that. Even more, it's like interesting was the fact that they were kind of like being tight-lipped about what this is actually going to be about. Like like all I had to go on for the series. Like I didn't seek out a whole lot of interviews, it's like with them or reviews of the issues themselves. It's like all I had to go on it was the fact that was what they said in the solicitations, that this was the story. This is that it says that there are many assassins in the known universe. This is the story of the most well-mannered one. So, and also there was some preview art that basically implied that, hey, the look of the series seems to be like a kind of like a sci-fi version of Assassin's Creed 4, which, hey, cool. But as far as like what this series is actually going to be about, well, I had no idea. It's like when I actually opened this up, which it's like kind of rare these days. So that was definitely something else this series had going in its favor. What I ultimately got, however, was something that felt like a supersized version of one of Hickman's high concept miniseries. Like the bit where you got like a science fiction mockumentary about what happened about the race for human enhancement in say transhuman, or what happens when Roman Catholics get a time machine in Pax Romana. Decorum is kind of is basically a Hunt the MacGuffin type series. It's like in the sense that like the MacGuffin is a celestial messiah, and the people doing the hunting are the machines that were created by it. problem is with these machines is that they're also coded to believe, it's like to believe in God and the Armageddon, and that their ultimate AI, it's like the one leading them is just basically is one that they refer to as it's like as God themselves. So you've got religious fanatic machines, trying to hunt down like their maker or stop him from being reborn by the mothers who've been spiriting away for like thousands of years now. And and that's kind of like the core of the series, but that's not where it really starts. It really starts with one Niha Norisud. She's a courier living on an aquatic planet with lots of shifting landscapes, perfect for like all sorts of nefarious black market activity. And so she's a courier, doing her best to like get through the day, get enough money to eat, and also to keep her brother who contacted the galactic plague, it's like alive in his cryotube. She is definitely one of the have-nots. It's like, and she's just, and as we meet her, she's been contracted to deliver a package to, it's like a package to a place. This place happens to be like a local crime lord who has basically found himself on the wrong end of one Imogen Smith Morley. Imogen is it's like is the very well mannered assassin referred to in the solicitation text. She is all class. It's like and we can see that in her in her dealings with this crime lord, who and that's when Niha like just walks in because she's been contracted to deliver like a box to this. It's like box to Imogen. It's like at the specific time, and it's like it basically allows Imogen to just take out these bad people without a second thought. And she also winds up taking a liking to Niha at the same time. So she winds up, and so with Niha just realizing that hey, I've got no better option, so why don't I go with the really polite assassin lady? Even though it's like Niha isn't really it's like all that keen on assassination and all. So that's where the series like kind of gets it's we get our main characters from, and we get to see then we see Imogen take Niha to her Assassin's Guild, known as the Sisterhood of Man, and she's one of like four recruits for this particular time. So while the thing is like while Niha's being trained, the motherhood is still trying to find ways to raise it's like rebirth the celestial Messiah. It's like and also the it's like the Church of the Singularity, the robots who believe in God. They're still trying to find them, and they're also their leader like Rochi has basically it's kind of like the end of his robotic rope here, having realized that he prefers oblivion to like thousands of years of failure that he's had in order to turn up like the egg of the celestial Messiah. So AI God basically says, well, you know, rather than just like kill you outright, why don't you just I'm gonna charge you with finding it's like a new group in order to solve our problem for us. And well, wouldn't you know it, there's a really highly specialized group of assassins it's like who like finding like someone who doesn't want to be found. Well, it's kind of in their wheelhorse as well. Now, what I've told you right now basically is a little more than the first 2/3 of it's like of this 300 plus page book. And you're wondering, oh, wait a second, if that's kind of like how the story gets started, like, well, what about the rest of it? Well, that's kind of like the problem with Decorum is that for all of its length, its world building, its style, its elegantly constructed conversations, snappy dialogue, well done. It's like well done art. It's like and it's like cleverly done action sequences. There's not really a whole lot to it. And when I said that, yeah, it's kind of like a Hunter MacGuffin type story. Yeah, that's basically like all it is. It's basically just kind of like it's a supersized version of like one of Hickman's like a like early image miniseries. And it's like on one hand, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I I was kind of expecting more from this. I mean, it's one thing to just read like say like a 96-page graphic novel, just like see it talk about its clever ideas and get out before you've become bored with things. Decorum, well, I wasn't exactly bored while reading it. I can tell you that much. Hickman and Huddleston are really good with creating an entertaining style here. Just from from the way that they they introduce us to Imogen and Niha. It's like they're likable enough characters. We want to see them succeed. Even if you even if I would have liked a bit more about just why, but about understanding just what Imogen saw in Niha, besides just a chance to disrupt the status quo. But it's like but it's like the dialogue that Hickman gives his characters is fun. It's like seeing the training sequences that Niha goes through over 3 years with the Sisterhood of Man. It's compressed really well and does a good job of essaying growth the growth of her of her character. And let's see. Oh, and Huddleston's art is really impressive to behold because he's got a widely varying style in the sense that it can look really ultra detailed, just really impressive, CG painted. It's art in some scenes, and just some really simple yet still incredibly expressive pencil work in others. And he's also does a great job of showing us this world and all of this universe really in all of its various various locales. It's like it's great. It's great work. It's great work to behold. And it does a good job of it's like selling this what Hickman is developing here. Oh, and also yes, there are plenty and plenty of data pages. I mean, I know this is kind of like Hickman's stock and trade at this point. But so if you're hoping that it's he's that he was getting tired of this or he'd find some way to mix them up. Well, no, we're not there yet. But as someone who has really never stopped liking what he's doing here, I was plenty entertained with what we got here. And as always, they serve as a not it's either entertaining distractions or a way to express dense world building that would have normally taken a lot longer to to display in in the in the series itself, which feels kind of weird saying that because yeah, it's there's a lot of just just people talking, getting sick burns on each other. It's seeing Imogen and Sister Ma, the other head of the Sisterhood of Man, just go at it because while Imogen is class as all get out, Sister Ma is just as it's it's just is crass in the opposite direction. They make for an entertaining pairing, and and it's fun to see them go at it. So and like I said, it's even though this is very long, it's like I said, there's just it's just more offers more of the style that Hickman and Huddleston have achieved here. And as I said, I like the style they came up with here. It's entertaining on it's definitely easily entertaining on a surface level. But the problem is it just doesn't quite seem to ultimately go anywhere. It's I mean, it's yeah, the not to give too much away, but the good guys win. It's and in the universe is saved. But at the end, I'm kind of left wondering, what was the point of it all? It's what I mean, does it say anything new about do anything new with this group of female assassins? Do we learn anything new about about this AI collective? I mean, not really. I mean, this is really something that's for like the established fans of these creators. This is something I would try show to someone to convince them that Hickman and Huddleston are worth our creators worth following. Even though it is kind of interesting to note that that I think Hickman's most satisfying work has been within the superhero genre, probably because it's it seems like it's probably easy. It seems to be easier for him to just create like complex stories that have lots of intricate moving parts to them, and a lot. It's like and some real depth to what's going on. It's like when he's got like like a pre-built universe to work within. In this case, it's like it's like I liked Decorum, but at the same time, it's like for 300 pages, like $440, I was expecting more here. I was expecting more than just a fun adventure story that also hinges upon a ridiculous coincidence that on one hand, it's like it's something that happens towards late in the story, and you kind of realize that it's something that had to happen, or else Hickman, the series would have gone on for like twice as long, and that probably would have been trying my patience at that point. It's like, and also it ends on not quite a cliffhanger, but definitely the promise of more. Because while this volume is subtitled "The Womanly Art of Assassination," we're promised like the second volume is going to be called "The Womanly Art of Empire," which sounds interesting, but at the same time, I can't say I'm like frothing at the bit for this to arrive. If, Hickman and Huddleston want to go ahead and do it, then sure, I'll be there for it. But they seem to be plenty busy right now with Hickman's Substack venture on Three Worlds, Three Moons, which right now it seems to be like building up like a whole world for stories that they're going to tell. So maybe like they're getting all like the pre-built stuff of this universe out of the way so they can start playing with the toys within, kind of like their own version of the Marvel universe. So I'd be interested in seeing that when that comes to fruition. But so like I'm still interested in seeing what these creators do next. But Decorum, it's fun, entertaining, and definitely more style over substance. As I said, it's one for converted fans of these creators. People look interested in seeing what Hickman is all about. I turn you towards his Fantastic Four or his Avengers work. Huddleston, if you can find copies of of the Coffin or the Homeland Directive, those are well worth your time as well.
All right. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Okay, if everything goes right, then you'll be hearing mine and Myron's thoughts on No One Left to Fight Volume 2 next time.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters, everyone.